And the reason why God puts us in a furnace is to remove the impurities from us. I like one scripture in Romans chapter 5, verse 3 downwards. The Apostle Paul says, I rejoice in sufferings, because sufferings produce endurance, and endurance character. So sometimes the Lord will lead us into sufferings to deal with us.
And this was your specific framed fear. This was the big issue between you and God. Yeah. And doesn't he, Pastor, doesn't the Lord take us right into the giants to defeat them ultimately? Yeah. That's not an issue in your serving anymore.
Now, I want to say this, Moira, that you will not fear a test you have already passed.
Hey.
No.
There you go.
So if I was taken in grade 1 today, and I was told tomorrow is an examination, I would not fear the test.
You've been there and done that.
I only fear tests I have not gone through. Now, I know that, and I'll tell you the truth, that food doesn't scare me.
Lack of food?
Lack of food doesn't scare me because I've been there before. I've been there before. Maybe there are other challenges that might scare me, but for sure, lack of food doesn't scare me. Even when there is no food, there are times when I have no food. And I want to speak the truth. That doesn't scare me.
Your son,
yeah.
Your son who must remember this chapter of family life, was not embittered by it. He didn't say, well, I don't want to be one of those pastors. That's a scary road. I might not have food.
But you know, when we went through that test, we went through that test as a family. Because when I ate raw guava, he also ate raw guava. And in fact, just a few weeks ago, before I came here, he was telling me he's not scared about what I went through because he was with me. So
beautiful. And now he's doing a 40-day fast.
He's doing a 40-day fast.
Food is not a major item for him.
Yeah.
God is so good. And
yes.
what warms my heart is that in this very big, sometimes overwhelming HIV AIDS problem and the other problems that you see daily in the communities where you serve, and you've planted 7 churches, we have this very clear expression of the heart of God. You could have gone, and you're such a bright man, you could have got those degrees and had a well-paying job in a great firm, but God said, no, Eric, this matters to me.
Yeah, but I'll tell you why. I think that whatever I went through, the sufferings, that helps me understand what people go through as I go in the communities. There are orphans that are starving. There are widows that are starving. I understand that because I have been there. There's a scripture that encourages me, which says that Jesus learned obedience through what he went through.
Right, he was suffered.
Yeah, he suffered, and so he sympathizes with us. And so as I go in the community, it's not something I theorize. When they say they have no food, I understand what they mean. I understand what they are going through. I stand with them. Even when I pray, I do not pray from a theoretical point of view, from an experiential point of view, because I have gone through that myself. So the Lord sometimes will allow us to go through things so that we can be better counselors.
Compassionate.
We can have the burden for those who are starving. But I also want to say this. I don't know how it is here and the challenges that you face, but I know
food isn't typically one of them.
It's not a problem, but there are other challenges. There are people that hesitate to go into full-time ministry, even when they know that God has called them to go into full-time ministry. People want to be very careful, and so they don't want to step into unknown. One day I was praying and I told the Lord, why don't you tell me everything?
Give me the whole blueprint.
Yeah, so I know I prepare myself. But you see, God doesn't tell us everything. He tells us one thing at a time. So we have to believe him. Every step we take, we must believe him. So
and
God
because
doesn't tell
you've
us.
done that, Eric,
Yeah.
you know, the scripture that comes to my mind is, rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. When you've suffered in the area that you are encountering in this person you're ministering to, you feel the emotions.
Yeah.
You have been there. You know what it's like. It makes you such a rich pastor. Eric, this has been special. Isaiah 64:4,
Yes.
verse 4, comes to my mind because it talks about waiting, and it says, God gladly comes to the help of those who do right, who remember his ways.
Yes.
You have beautifully illustrated through your own journey God's ways. He is patient, and he's not in a hurry. And that's sometimes frustrating.
Yes, true. I'll tell you something that I still have challenges. But one thing that really brings satisfaction in my heart is not about money. Because you can have a lot of money but still be miserable in life. You can have all the wealth but still be miserable in life. What brings satisfaction in me as a pastor in Africa, in Zambia, is the fact that I'm in the perfect will of God.
Yes.
You know, one thing that I think of is that when I get to heaven, there's one thing I want to go and do is to greet God. And I want to hear from God say, well done, my faithful servant. That brings satisfaction in my heart. I may not have everything, I may not drive, I may not have a house, I may not have food, but I rejoice on the fact that I'm in the perfect will of God.
It has been an honor to have this time. It's really a little bit unreal, a little surreal, very special. And I want us to be praying for Pastor Eric Mwambelo, his wife Joyce, 4 boys, Joshua, Caleb, Jeremiah, Victor, and your late brother's son, Emmanuel.
Okay.
Your nephew is with you as well. 7 churches to date this man has planted. He's got a big congregation and a big heart. Eric, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much.